Scenes from the Spectrum, episode 33. Embiid is the MVP.
Here's Ilyasova. Here's McConnell. Can he get it off? Yeah! And the Sixers win it! 7 seconds to play. Iverson against Gill. The crowd on its feet. Allen for the win. Yes!
All right. How are we doing today? It is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. Get a good episode out for you before you go out and party all night. Be safe, everybody. But we're here. We missed last week. Everybody wasn't available, but Graham's back.
I'm back.
Graham is back. How are you doing today? And it's good to have you.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of Sixers basketball.
Yeah, they
Tons of it.
they're doing pretty well right now. Pretty well. We're gonna roll down the headlines today. Tony's not here, so I'll hit the headline music.
Oh, self-producer, huh?
Embiid is now the favorite to win the MVP award on all betting apps. Sixers are on a 6-game winning streak with highlight wins over Milwaukee, Portland with an Embiid game winner, and the Cleveland Cavaliers a couple nights ago. Tobias Harris and George Niang are having their struggles. We'll talk about that. There's 14 games left in the regular season. A couple big ones coming up, especially one against the Nuggets and Jokic. Jalen McDaniels and Paul Reed look to be the Sixers' new bench duo, and potential playoff matchups coming in for the Sixers. So
that's a big one.
A lot to dig in for today. But let's just start out with Embiid. I want to hear your thoughts on Embiid over this. I'd say the last 8 games, because the Nuggets lost 4 straight. The Sixers have won. 6 straight now, and Embiid is now the favorite. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, the stock is rising for Embiid at the perfect time that the stock is falling for Jokic, because Jokic, not his best stretch of games. Embiid, quite literally one of the best stretches of games ever in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I think that what we see is the best scoring season of all time.
Yep.
And that's the reason he's going to be the most valuable player, because he is literally having the best scoring season of all time. We don't need to say that like it's a normal thing. This is, this won't ever happen again. The season that Embiid's having.
Yeah.
So it's one of the biggest things that us as Sixers fans need to realize is that everybody else is good. Giannis great, Jokic phenomenal, and Embiid is having a season which is among the best of all time.
Yeah, and he's about to break the Sixers franchise record, which Allen Iverson holds, the current record for most 30-point performances in a row. And I think Embiid is one or 2 games off of that. I would have to check, but he's going to break that record that's held on for 20 years now. So.
Yeah, and you look at the records that he's breaking, the records that he's broken. Not just for career, but season-wise that he's going to do. One of the most historic seasons we've ever seen here in Philly. Probably, I wouldn't say the most, but it's top 5 for sure. And just riding high into the playoffs is what you got to do. You got to finish out the next 14. I believe
14.
You got to finish these out strong, and then I think the MVP, if Embiid can just put on a show, he doesn't have to win the battle. But if Embiid can put on a show in Denver, it's locked up. There's no question about it. Right now, I think Embiid he's been the favorite for 3 weeks now. It's just this week it's really caught on, and everybody is on it.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. If you placed your Embiid MVP bet back in January or December or November, you're really looking at some cash right now. You can feel it, can't you?
Yeah, the voters are really cracking down on and they're really looking at everything when they're deciding on who's the MVP, and losing 4 straight games is that's horrible for Jokic. He lost to the Spurs, the Raptors, the Nets, and I forget who the other loss was to, but they lost 4 games in a row. They won last night against the Pistons, and everybody's kind of catching on that this guy's stat pads. It's become a thing
Yep.
over the past week. The tides are starting to turn. Everybody's noticing that they're putting Jokic back into the game already in a blowout just so he can secure that triple double. So
Yep.
it's pretty funny to see. But with the Sixers 14 games left in the season, the number 1 seed isn't impossible. The 2 seed looks more possible, and I think the 2 seed is really important when you have a potential, or most likely a matchup with the Boston Celtics in the second round, and we are only 1 single game behind the Boston Celtics for the 2nd seed. And we are probably, I would say, one of the hottest teams in basketball right now.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, if we don't get that second seed, the third seed is something that we're probably gonna have to live with, and I think that's where
yeah.
we're gonna end up being. I mean, the Celtics are really good. Bucks are gonna be the 1 seed. They pretty much run away. I mean, it's 3.5 right now. That's
Yeah.
a lot with 14 games left. They have just sizable lead
Yeah.
with 2.5 over the Celtics. So I think that we see the Bucks kind of run their course last couple games or last couple weeks of the season. Celtics is one that they're gonna rattle off some wins, and there's in that Sixers schedule the rest of the way is they're not easy wins, that's for sure. There's no gimmies
No.
really. So yeah, I don't know if the Sixers can get that 2 seed really because they're playing some of their best basketball now. I don't know if they'll cool off or they'll continue the hot streak. I wouldn't
Mhm.
like them to win every game. I think I don't think that'd be good if they just won every game
Yeah.
because we saw what happened a couple years ago with that to
That
end
was
the
a fun
regular
winning
season.
streak, though. What
It
was
was
that,
a fun winning streak,
16?
but did we make the Eastern Conference Finals? We
No.
didn't.
No.
No.
We didn't. We
Yeah,
did not.
so if we go on a 20-game win streak to end the season, it'd be great. But I think that 11 more wins out of 14 will do the trick. I
Yeah.
mean, it'll 10 wins out of 14, it will be just fine. So, I think that you're gonna string together some wins. I would like to see Embiid actually rest a lot down the stretch of these games.
Yeah,
I would
well,
be very cautious on his minutes. Same with PJ Tucker.
mhm. Yeah, well, Doc said he's gonna be very, very, very cautious in, everybody's minutes and who's got some, like, nagging injuries, and, I mean, Embiid's putting up these dominant performances, but he hasn't played in the 4th quarter in a couple of these games.
Yep.
So, that's always good to see him playing, like, 27 minutes, still putting up 30 plus points and not even playing that 4th quarter. That's huge. And we need other guys to step up on the team to let Embiid have that rest, and guys like Tobias Harris and Georges Niang. I mean, Tobias Harris has been brutal. He's been brutal. He's averaging 8.5 points per game in his last 8 games and shooting 30% from 3 within those 8 games. This guy's got
Well,
to figure it out.
yeah, that's what we're gonna see in the playoffs. So
I mean, it's just
it's
like
coming a month early.
it kind of feels like his confidence level has gone down because you saw all in like the first like 3 or 4 months into the regular season. This guy wasn't afraid to shoot. He didn't care if he shot like 7, 8 threes. He was gonna hit them. I mean, he's shooting 37.7% from 3 on the year, which is surprising to me. But he did play very well in the first few months. We just need that guy back who's gonna shoot that 3 and not pump fake it and then go
Yeah.
into a bad shot. I mean, his shot IQ has just been so bad in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I don't think he's a guy that we're gonna have to rely on, but I would love for him to be 40% the next stretch of games. If he's a 40% 3-point shooter over 2-3 weeks, Sixers
Yeah.
are in really good hands. That's just not gonna happen. The beginning of the season, when he shoots 3, you feel like he's making it, right? Every time it
Mhm.
leaves his hand, you feel good. You don't have that same feeling now at all.
Mhm.
Um, and he's been known to do these really, really bad cold stretches when you need to win
Really
games.
bad cold stretches.
And with the Utah Jazz, every time they had a crucial game, Niang wasn't there showing up. So there was one of the biggest things about Niang that I noticed.
Yeah.
I guess when we picked him up a season ago. So yeah, I think the woes they're going to be there for sure. Maybe he's getting out of his system early, and he can come back. Last week of the season, last 2 weeks of the season, get some good form, get some confidence back in that shot before the playoffs.
Yeah, I would like in like a couple of blowout games to just go in there and chuck up some shots. I
Yeah,
don't
run some
care.
set plays for a catch
Yeah.
and shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
totally agree.
he could be huge, especially running Tobias with the bench squad, with like Shake Milton and D'Anthony Melton, and then you have Tobias in there. You run a few plays or in the playoffs. You run a few plays for Milton or Melton, and then you got a few plays for Tobias Harris, which he's got to knock those shots down, especially in the playoffs. And like you said, hopefully this is that cold stretch that leads to like that hot stretch where you can't miss. But on to Georges Niang, he absolutely has shut down in big games.
Yeah.
We've seen it way too many times. I
He's
mean,
not a big game hooper because he can't get his like footing to the game. Like he
yeah,
never like in a big game. I never feel like George Niang is up to speed. He's always a step
yeah,
slow, and I think Niang knows that when he's playing. Like he's always catching up to the game speed, which
yeah,
is obviously not good. So
yeah. He did show up in the Milwaukee Bucks game. He hit 5 threes and had 16 points. So if I'm not asking for that every game, but I'm just asking for like, dude, just hit 2 threes a game in the playoffs. He's still shooting 41%, which I think is the highest on the team. And then second would be James Harden at around 39%, which is insane.
yeah,
So we'll see come playoff time. I mean, dude, this guy, Georges Niang, could win you a playoff game. He could absolutely win you a playoff game.
yeah, he can win you a playoff game if Harden can't close.
Yeah.
I mean, if Harden's closing games out, we don't even have a discussion about George Niang. He's an afterthought. He's getting 9 minutes a game. If he makes 2 threes, like it's incredible. If he goes in there, misses his first couple of shots, you take him out the game. You don't see him the rest of the way.
Yeah,
So I
which
mean, it's not going to be up to George Niang if he
mhm,
costs the Sixers a game. It's going to be up to the players around him because, frankly, we can win without George Niang. Niang's not a
yeah.
crucial part to the playoff success of this team. He can be an addition, but we don't need him to be a subtraction because if he's just playing bad, just don't play him.
Yeah, Doc Rivers has done a pretty solid job, I feel like, at having Georges Niang on like a short leash. You
Yep.
saw he got a DMP against the Miami Heat a couple weeks ago. He gets less minutes in some games where he just doesn't have it. But then obviously you have those times where Doc Rivers is like, yeah, just go out there and give me 25 minutes, which obviously that's not going to happen in the playoff. But we're just asking for 2 threes a game, 2
Yeah.
threes a game, and I am very, very, very happy. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of got a big question mark over both of those two players' heads.
Oh, huge. And like your backup center position is young, and the forward shooting that you get Niang is hot or cold.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't think we should put it in their hands at all. It's got to be the Embiid show. It's got to be Harden. It's got to be Maxey. It's got to be D'Anthony Melton. So
Yeah. Speaking about the backup center, it feels like we have our backup center problem solved. It's not Dwayne Dedman. It's not Montrezl Harrell. It's the guy I've been saying all year long, and Graham didn't like it. It's Paul Reed.
yeah, he's
Paul Reed.
hooped. He's hooped.
But I'd say a majority of the success of Paul Reed, credit has to be given to Jalen McDaniels, because when Paul Reed is not partnered up with Jalen McDaniels on the floor, he has gotten taken out of a lot of games. The other night against the against the Cavs, Paul Reed was getting beat up. He took him out, and we put PJ Tucker at the backup center. I mean, Paul Reed and Jalen McDaniels, they're just really athletic, just really big wingspans that can close out a shot, and they have they're an average kind of defensive rating team. They're an above average offensive rating or offensive rated duo. So I really like the duo. I like what I've seen from Jalen McDaniels so far. I'm actually gonna have a story come out about him on PhillySportsToday.net
Yeah, you've
within the
been
next
grinding on that.
week. Oh yeah, I like Jalen McDaniels. We just need him to hit his shot, and and that's fine. But he's having the worst year of his career behind the arc. So hopefully he can get that back. He doesn't really take that many attempts per game, but I kind of want him to just go out there and shoot the ball to get the feel for it back.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why that Paul Reed and players, such as McDaniels have sort of flourished is because the Sixers embracing the small ball a little bit more than they did
Mhm.
when Harrell was playing a lot of minutes. They never embraced the small ball like they are now because they have no other choice, frankly. So
Yeah.
that's one thing that's helped out Paul Reed, especially, is the Sixers just embracing playing small ball, and it's helped him out tremendously. And I think McDaniel's is gonna be around the level that he is. It's gonna above average for sure.
Mhm.
Not gonna be amazing. Not gonna be too terrible. So I like what we've seen from him. The spark, as you mentioned, though, is big for both of those guys.
Yeah. Jalen McDaniels is it's just a huge upgrade over Matisse Thybulle. I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
he gives you a lot of offense, and teams aren't just letting him just say, "Hey, you sit on that 3-point line, you take 10 attempts. I don't care. I'm leaving you open every time," which was the kind of situation that Matisse Thybulle was in. But Jalen McDaniels, we've seen him have a lot of just pretty flashy putback dunks, some awesome offensive rebounds, which this team always needs more rebounds. I just love what I've seen from the guy.
Yeah, I mean, rebounding is always going to be a problem with this team, a lot of it you mentioned offensive rebounds because our center takes majority of the shots,
Hmm.
so you're not going to get many offensive rebounds just by basketball, by the way the game works. So any presence you have on the glass is going to be big.
Hey, different story when PJ Tucker's on the floor. Different
Yeah,
story, dude. I love PJ Tucker. We
I
kind
like
of
him too.
we
Yeah,
kind of hate we hated on him for the first couple
tough
months of the
love, tough
year.
love. It was tough love.
But oh my god, is this guy just awesome for this team?
Yeah,
And I tweeted out he was worth every penny of
yeah.
that $10 million contract. Obviously, we said it. Majority of fans said it, and fans of the NBA said that PJ Tucker contract was an overpay, and
It is.
absolutely not.
It's an overpay.
Absolutely
It
not.
is 100% an overpay. It doesn't mean that he's not helping out the squad. Yeah,
I don't think it's an overpay.
he's not worth 10 million. No
He's
chance.
worth.
There's no
I think he's worth every penny that we
not on
paid
the
him.
floor. Maybe, all things considered. In 2 years he won't be worth 10 million either. But I mean
No, no,
it's
he
just
won't.
it's
But
what you
right
had
now,
to pay. I think it's what you had to pay to get this type of production. I think it's 6-7 mil type of production. It's not 10 mil. But I think that we still needed it was a good overpay. There's bad overpays, there's good overpays. That was a
mhm.
good overpay.
Yeah, and he said, he's
He's not worth 3 for 30. He's just not. Like, it's just simple. But I mean, it's just something you had to do in order to get him.
maybe I'm just overhyping him because I'm just loving what I'm seeing
No,
out of him.
I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. But we saw, or he said a couple weeks ago when we had that back to back, not back to back nights, but 2 games in a row against Miami. He said he did not want to leave that team and he wanted to stay. So,
Yeah.
like you said, I guess we had to overpay, and I'm fine with it, and I'm completely fine with it. But dude, this guy, I could talk about him all day. He does everything you want, like just that gritty kind of player to do. He will he will do you up. Pause, but
That's crazy.
he'll get you any rebound. He'll maybe hit a corner three from here and there, but yeah, I love it.
For sure. Yeah, and he's definitely going to be someone that we're going to need to step up and continue the form because He's a good guy to have in the locker room for sure as a veteran presence. But when when he's hooping, I don't want to say like he's hooping, like he's not getting buckets.
Yeah.
But he's like you said, he's playing pretty darn good defense. And it's funny because he doesn't like move his feet that well, but he's still a
Yeah.
good defender. It's funny to watch because you think he's getting beat. Like if he goes one on one, you think that he's getting beat, but he's not. Um, and again, rebounding, just be a dog. That's all you got to be. Be a dog. Even if you don't get the rebound,
That's all he asked.
even if you don't get the rebound, if you tip it and it goes to
Oh,
Melton
dude,
or
he's had
Maxey,
so many
there's so
tips.
many of this, so many tips to keep it alive.
Yeah.
So many tips. I love the tips.
Pause. There's a bunch of teams that we could play in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
If the season ended today and we were the 3 seed, we would play the Brooklyn Nets in a first round matchup, which would be awesome. That would be fun. We'd beat them in 5 games, but that'd be really fun. I don't even think Ben Simmons is ever gonna play basketball again.
I don't think either. No.
I don't even know when the last time he played. I feel like every week we get an update. Ben Simmons dealing with knee or back soreness. He's out at
Yeah.
least 2 games. I mean, the
Every
coach
2
doesn't.
games.
The coach doesn't even like him. I mean,
No,
come
if
on.
he goes back, is he playing? There's no way he's playing, even
No,
if
he's
he's
not
healthy.
playing.
Yeah, I mean, he's just.
He hates basketball.
Oh yeah, I've never seen somebody hate basketball more than Ben Simmons.
like
Like
a
the guy
couple
actively tries not to play.
like a couple weeks ago, he got hit in the eye, and everybody was like, "Oh," and he went back to the locker room. Everybody was like, "Oh man, I guess I really hurt. Get his eye checked out." You check the notification on your phone. Ben Simmons out with knee soreness. So,
Yeah, I mean,
but we could
it's absolutely insane.
if we move up to that 2 seed, we could be looking at potentially playing the Miami Heat or the Atlanta Hawks, which I think the Hawks would be fun. We'll beat literally all of those teams. We'll kill them.
I mean, I think we're beating every team besides the Bucks or Celtics. I don't see any other team besides the Bucks or Celtics beating us in 7 games, and even then, I like us against both of those teams.
Who do you think we match up with better? The Milwaukee Bucks or the Boston Celtics?
The Nets is the best team we match up with. Oh, between
I
those
was talking
two.
about out of those
Okay,
two.
but between those two, I don't like either of them at all. But we're just gonna have to. I don't think matchup wise it's gonna matter. We're just gonna have to.
I would rather
the Bucks. The Bucks. I don't want to play. I don't want to play the Celtics team.
I'd also rather play the Bucks
Al
because
Horford.
we have shown plenty of times, especially this year, that we can beat the Bucks. We can beat them pretty convincingly. We have not shown that we can beat the Boston Celtics.
Not at all.
Both get off. Have we played them 3 times?
We have. We played them 3 times because one of them was the very first game of the year.
Yeah, first game of the year.
And then a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but yeah, I would much rather play the Milwaukee Bucks. The only thing that I would like about playing the Boston Celtics is that Jason Tatum's a playoff dropper. He doesn't show up in big moments. You saw that in the finals. He
doesn't, but again, I don't want Al Horford to cook us.
It's really that simple. Guard him. Just guard him. It's that simple.
I really do not want Al Horford to cook us. So
he is Embiid's kryptonite.
Yeah. For sure.
He's been that his entire career.
On and off the team.
Do you think both, if we were to play either, it'd go to 7?
Yeah. I like us in 7 against the Bucks and don't like us in 7 against the Celtics. But who knows? I'm very scared of Jaylen Brown.
Oh yeah,
just a scoring threat. Like he could just
cook you up.
I'm very scared of Derek White minutes. Like that team scares me. The Bucks, however, you can build a wall around Giannis, and I like how Embiid, if he can actually rim protect, actually try on defense. I really like us against the Bucks.
Well, we've only seen it a couple times, but I really love when we line up on defense and Embiid is roaming. That's like our best defense. We did it.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it against the Nuggets, which is why I hope we play the Nuggets in the finals, because that would be food,
dude. You nobody has any idea the things I would do to get a Sixers Nuggets finals. I think we would win in like 6. But
because Embiid is the roamer. The Nuggets have no other option but to hope MPJ goes off from 3.
yeah,
That's literally it. Because
which you really can't.
Jamal Murray's clamped by D'Anthony, and nothing is
Jamal
getting
Murray
around the paint.
stinks. He stinks this year.
But he's getting clamped by his own shot
Yeah,
creation and D'Anthony Melton, and then Embiid, nothing. He's not letting anything go around the rim. You got to have wing scoring, which
yeah.
MPJ is a really good wing scorer. Can he do
But
it for
he
6
doesn't
games, 7
show
games?
up. There's some
Exactly.
times where he'll shoot 0 for 7. Like that's not
Exactly.
a guy that you can count on to win you a playoff series. It's really just not.
Yeah.
Man,
Team in the
that's
West that you don't want to face.
that's simple. The Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns, you don't
The
want to face.
Phoenix,
What if
Kevin Durant would
what if Katie does
torch
not
us.
what if Katie does not come back?
If Katie does not come back, who would I least want to play? I wouldn't care about playing the Kings, but they're not making it to the finals. I wouldn't care about going against Memphis. I would care about going against the Clippers.
I don't think I would. I think
Really?
honestly, dude, honestly, if the Lakers somehow make the finals, I don't want to play them.
Oh, I don't. Oh, okay. That's another team.
Like if the
actually,
Lakers make the finals, I do not want to play them at all because that means everybody's playing well, and when the Lakers play well, they're actually
dude,
very,
they are
very
so good. They are so
Very good.
good when they're playing well. You saw that, especially in that 27-point comeback against the Mavericks, the last game that LeBron was healthy.
When they're healthy and when they're like actually hitting shots and they're playing defense,
that team is scary.
They're the
and AD, dude.
Yeah,
and when AD is healthy, oh my god.
Yeah, the team's good.
The Lakers are 10th seed currently, but I tweeted this I think like 2 weeks ago. I said that I'm taking the Lakers over a lot of teams in the Western Conference.
Like,
a lot.
If the Lakers are the 7th seed, it would not surprise me at all if they're in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I said that.
8 seed would be difficult. 8 seed would be difficult to face up
Yeah.
against Denver first round. Like that'd be tough. I don't think they'd win that, but if they go against like the Kings or the Grizzlies, they get one series under their belt, which I think they can win. Then they get really tricky because then they have confidence and they're playing defense. They're in a style of where LeBron can just take over. Like it's not a good recipe for the rest of the West.
Who do you think is the sneakiest team to make a conference finals or even a finals appearance? A team that doesn't get talked about too much going to the finals, but a team that if they can like just torch, that they can really beat.
Okay, so right now, to a dark horse to make it to a conference finals. Is that what you're asking? Because I have one. It's the Cleveland Cavaliers if they play the Bucks in the Eastern Conference semi.
I don't hate that. I think
they match up really well.
Yeah,
with Mobley,
I do not hate
with Mobley in there, the guard tandem. I think they match up well with the Bucks. That'd be a very close 1-4 series because they've actually played really close regular season too, and the Cavs got better than them.
What about the Western Conference? Dark horse.
I don't know if anybody's like a dark horse. Like I mean,
would you call the Sacramento
Clippers
Kings a dark horse?
No, they're the 2 seed.
Well,
I'm not calling the 2 seed a dark horse. But I mean, I guess they're the dark horse.
The only reason I would call them a dark horse is because everybody's counting them out to not make a Western Conference Finals.
They're going to have like 46 wins. I just don't know if I'm calling a 46-win team a dark horse.
You're right. I'm only saying dark horse because of how many people that are counting them out already in the playoffs. I mean, because they have no playoff experience on that team except Harrison Barnes. So,
which is a lot of experience, but still.
Yeah. So the Cavs and who would you say?
Bucks. I mean, I said the Clippers. Conference? I said the Clippers. Yeah. But I mean, again, I don't know if they're dark horse. They're really good. Everybody
they are the
talks
5
about
seed.
Them.
They are currently the 5
they're
seed.
the 5 seed.
And if the season ended today, they would go against the Suns, which I just don't like the Suns. I don't like it. But Kevin Durant is out, that team.
Not a
that
dark
team.
Horse.
No, I'm not talking about like a dark horse. I'm just talking about like
saying,
in general.
Like they're a 4 seed.
They are currently the 4th seed with their record is tied with the Clippers.
Which is funny because we talk about the Suns like there's no way they're a dark horse, but then the Cavs are also the 4 seed. It's just the way people talk about them.
Yeah. That
Like
that Suns team.
if I said I have the Suns over the Nuggets in a series, nobody would think twice about it. But if I said
I
I
think
have
yeah.
if I had the Cavs over the Bucks, then people would be like, "Oh, what were you talking about?" That's the type of thing that's going on 1 versus 4.
I don't think the Suns make it out of the. I mean, not the Suns. The Nuggets make it out of the second round
Yeah, it's going to be very.
because
I told you.
if the season ended today, their second round matchup would be winner of Phoenix and Clippers.
Yeah,
So
that's a gauntlet. Like that if they play first round, I really like the winner of that series to go to the conference finals.
yeah, always scared. You always have to be scared against the Warriors. Always,
Always.
100% of the
Yeah.
time. Even though how bad they've been for the majority of this season, you're always scared of Steph Curry. I mean, he dropped 50 points a couple nights ago, and they still lost by like 20 to the Clippers. But yeah, there's a lot of scary teams. Hmm. I keep thinking about this second round match up against Boston for the Sixers, and it scares me. That's why the 2 seed is so important, so you get that home court advantage. That's why you really need that 2 seed. And we play Boston one more time at the I think it's one of the very last games of the season. So
Yeah, we play them April 4th.
yeah, yeah, which is probably the second or third to last game of the year.
I can check. It is the fourth to last game of the year.
Fourth
We
to
have
last
three
game.
other games after that, and it's the Heat,
Yeah,
Hawks, and Nets.
yeah. Which Heat, Hawks, Nets. We should beat all of them.
Well, they're all playoff teams, but you
Yeah,
never know. You never know who's playing those games. Like if we have the 2 seed or the 3 seed locked up per se, you know, the Hawks are definitely playing for stuff. Like if we are set in stone in our seeding, the Hawks are going to be trying not to be in the play in. So that's like a game we could lose. Or the
yeah.
Nets the same way, the Heat the same way.
Yeah,
Who knows?
the Hawks are currently well they're pretty much locked in to the 8-9 seed.
I
Um
mean, look, this is our into the season. Warriors, Suns, Nuggets, Mavs, Raptors, Bucks, Celtics, Heat, Hawks, Nets.
we should
It's a
win.
brutal stretch though. It's a
Yeah, but
brutal
we should
stretch.
win more than
Yeah.
70% of those games.
Yeah. I
This
mean, I
pl-
like
this this year's playoffs is going to be really good. It's going to be fantastic. Um
those are the last 10 games, excuse me. Last 10 games. So you think it's 7-3?
yeah.
I would definitely like a 7-3. Or six
Uh
and four if it doesn't matter with playoff seeding.
yeah, if playoff seeding is like set in stone, we are benching everybody.
Yeah.
We are
Have to be.
benching
Have to
everybody.
be.
Uh before before we kind of close on tonight's episode, I kind of wanted to talk about James Harden a little bit because of how good he's been this year. Not scoring wise, but he's having one of the best years of his career, especially from three. He's shooting it at around 39% right now. And that hamstring, just a miraculous comeback from that hamstring injury. He should have never been the same, but he's got that quick first step back. He's beating just awesome defenders. He's just beating them, taking them right to the rim and finishing. Like he did it to Evan Mobley. Like that's a tough guy to get around. He's been doing it all year long, which you just love to see. But he's got to perform this year. He's got a lot of pressure on him this year.
Look, there's only so many players in the league that can play with like immense pressure. Name them, Justin. You would trust to play with immense pressure. LeBron's one of them. KD,
Yeah,
Steph. Who else?
Bron, Katie, Steph.
Like
It's
who
a
else?
very it's
It's like three or
Kawhi.
four. Like 4 players, 4 or 5 players
Yeah,
max. So
yeah,
just think about that before you go playoffs.
yeah.
The players you trust the most with
Hey,
immense
they're all in
pressure.
the West. They are all on
They
the.
are
Those
all in the
guys are
West.
all in the West. So, I mean, could you say you could say Giannis, right?
I mean, with that championship, yes,
Yeah,
but oof. but
You
still,
could you could have him in the
he's
argument.
definitely not played his best during some playoff series.
No, he hasn't. Which is why I wouldn't have him with those four. It's like I'd say it's those four.
It's like a tier 1, tier 2.
I'd say it's those four, a big gap, then Giannis, and a few others. But there's like we didn't know our last or our last couple episodes ago was about playoff pressure. If you want to go check that out, but there's pressure on a lot of guys this year, and especially a lot of teams. So I mean, we'll see. We'll have a much bigger episode and a much bigger deep dive into like all playoff stuff, like in the next few weeks. But just a little hint at it for today, just a little hint. So, Graham, is that all we have for today?
That's all we have.
Yeah, it was I didn't expect this episode to be so short, but we kind of
Look, you got to hit the nail on the head of the coffin.
You just got to get.
There's
get
nothing
straight
much
to the
really to
point.
say. The Sixers, they just have to go like 7-3 in their last couple games.
Yeah,
and beat the MVP.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching episode 33 of Scenes from the Spectrum. You're already pointing. Make sure you click the links. There you go, right in the bottom, or not click the links. Go to those at SFTS podcast with an underscore in the Instagram.
Type those in.
Yeah, type those in. It's, we're on TikTok. I'm going to be checking out Facebook soon. I heard that's a big. I heard that's a big market over there on Facebook. So we should be getting on there pretty soon. Thank you guys for watching. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Be safe. Always be safe. And we'll see you.
We'll see you. Thank you, Justin. Go Sixers.